You're in the middle of your day, managing your own responsibilities, when someone approaches you with that familiar tone. Can you just help me real quick? And before your brain even has time to process what's happening, you've already said yes. Again, you're exhausted. You have a million things on your plate, but somehow their urgency just became your emergency. And here's what really stings: you didn't want to say yes. You knew you shouldn't have, but the words came out of your mouth anyway, like they were on autopilot. I've been there too. For years, I couldn't understand why I felt so completely drained after certain conversations. It was like someone had literally reached inside me and unplugged my battery. I'd lie in bed at night replaying these interactions, wondering why I couldn't just say no. And then I discovered something that completely changed everything. There are specific phrases, actual word patterns that manipulative people use to bypass your defenses and gain direct access to your time, your energy, and your peace of mind. In this video, I'm going to break down the 3 most common phrases that people, even well-meaning ones, use to steal your energy without you even realizing it's happening. More importantly, you're going to learn exactly how to shut them down instantly, without the guilt, without the long explanations, and without that emotional hangover that usually follows. If you've ever felt completely exhausted after saying yes when every fiber of your being was screaming no, this video is for you. Stay with me. Let's start by understanding what's really happening here. Psychologists have a term for these manipulative word patterns. They call them obligation triggers. These are carefully crafted phrases designed to activate your sense of duty, guilt, or empathy before you even have a chance to think critically about what's being asked of you. According to groundbreaking research published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology in 2019, these phrases are so effective because they exploit what scientists call our reciprocity bias, that deeply wired human tendency to return favors and meet obligations, even when no real favor was actually given to us in the first place. Here's the critical distinction we need to make right now. There's a massive difference between a genuine request and what I call an energy trap. A genuine request comes from a place of respect. It acknowledges your autonomy, honors your right to say no, and doesn't attach guilt or pressure to your decision. An energy trap, on the other hand, assumes your yes before you even speak. It disguises itself as urgency, necessity, or flattery, and it makes you feel inherently bad, even cruel, for having boundaries in the first place. Dr. Harriet Breker, a renowned psychologist and author, conducted extensive research showing that women, especially those of us in midlife, are particularly vulnerable to these linguistic manipulation tactics. Why? Because we've been socialized our entire lives to be accommodating, to smooth things over, to not make waves, to put everyone else's needs before our own. But here's what you absolutely need to understand. Recognizing these phrases is the first step to reclaiming your power. Once you see them, you can't unsee them. Phrase 1. Can you just? Let's start with the most insidious one. Can you just? This phrase is the Trojan horse of energy theft. On the surface, it seems so innocent, so reasonable. But that word just, it's doing some seriously heavy lifting. It minimizes what they're asking for. It makes their request seem tiny, trivial, almost silly for you to even consider refusing. Can you just watch my kids for an hour? Can you just look over this report real quick? Can you just swing by on your way home? But here's what's actually happening beneath the surface. They're pre-negotiating your consent. By adding that word just, they're framing any potential refusal as unreasonable before you even have a chance to respond. They're making you feel like the bad guy for even hesitating, A fascinating study from Stanford University in 2021 found that minimizing language like just or quickly increases compliance rates by a staggering 40%. Why? Because it triggers what researchers call our small request autopilot. We assume it won't cost you as much, so we don't engage our critical thinking. But here's the reality. It's never just anything. That quick favor turns into 2 hours. That simple task requires mental energy you don't have. And suddenly you're resentful, exhausted, and wondering how you got here again. Instant boundary. When someone says, "Can you just? I want you to do something revolutionary." Pause. Just pause. Let there be silence for 2 full seconds. Then respond with one of these. "Let me check my schedule and get back to you." Or simply, "I'm not available for that." Notice something crucial here. You don't have to justify it. You don't have to explain your schedule. You don't have to apologize for protecting your time and energy. No is a complete sentence. But if you need a softer version, these work perfectly. Phrase 2. I wouldn't ask if it wasn't important. The second phrase is even more manipulative because it masquerades as respect. I wouldn't ask if it wasn't important. Or its close cousin, I hate to bother you, but. This is manipulation disguised as consideration. What they're really saying is, I'm special. My needs are more urgent than yours. My problems deserve your immediate attention. And if you refuse me, you're essentially telling me that I'm not important to you. It's emotional blackmail wrapped up in a polite package with a bow on top. The trap here is brilliantly constructed. They've made their emergency your responsibility. They've transferred the weight of their problem directly onto your shoulders. And here's the thing that really gets me. It's always important to them. That's a given. Every request they make feels urgent and critical to them. But that doesn't automatically make it your obligation to solve. This is where the neuroscience gets really interesting. Research from UCLA's Social Cognitive Neuroscience Lab in 2020 shows that guilt-inducing phrases like this one activate the anterior cingulate cortex. That's the specific part of your brain responsible for processing social pain. Your brain literally experiences saying no to this phrase as a form of social rejection or abandonment. That's why it feels so physically uncomfortable, why your chest gets tight, why you feel like you're doing something wrong even when you're just protecting your boundaries. Instant boundary. When you hear this phrase, I want you to remember this mantra. Their poor planning is not your emergency. Say it with me. Write it down. Tattoo it on your arm if you need to. Then respond with this powerful combination. I understand it's important to you, and I'm not able to help with this. Full stop. A period. End of sentence. You're acknowledging their feelings without taking responsibility for solving their problem. You're being empathetic without being a doormat. Phrase 3. You're so good at this. The third phrase is perhaps the sneakiest because it feels good when you first hear it. You're so good at this. It's flattery weaponized. They're buttering you up before the ask even comes. You're so organized. Would you mind planning the entire office party? You're so good with people. Can you handle this incredibly difficult conflict for me? You're the only one who can do this right. Everyone else will mess it up. In that initial moment, it feels amazing, doesn't it? Who doesn't want to be seen, appreciated, recognized for their skills and competence? But here's what's actually happening. They're using your competence against you. They're making you feel like saying no means you're withholding your special gift from people who desperately need it. They're making your ability feel like an obligation. Dr. Susan Newman, psychologist and author of the Book of No, has done extensive research showing that competence-based manipulation is particularly effective on high-achieving women. Why? Because we've built our entire identity on being capable, reliable, and excellent at what we do. Refusing a request that acknowledges our skills feels like we're denying who we are at our core. It feels like false modesty, or like we're letting our team down. But here's the truth they don't want you to realize. Your competence is not a free resource for everyone to access whenever they feel like it. Your skills are valuable. Your time is valuable. Your energy is valuable. Instant boundary. The antidote is simple but incredibly powerful. Thank you for saying that. And I'm not available. Or, I appreciate the compliment, and I'm at capacity right now. Notice what you're doing here. You're accepting the compliment graciously while completely declining the hidden request. You're separating the two things that they tried to fuse together. The compliment and the obligation are not connected. You can receive one without accepting the other. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Why do these phrases work so effectively on me? Why do I keep falling for them when I know better? And I want you to hear this. It's not a character flaw. It's not weakness. There are legitimate psychological and neurological reasons. If you're a woman between 45 and 54, you need to understand that you're navigating a particularly vulnerable phase for boundary violations. Research from the American Psychological Association in 2022 shows that midlife women experience heightened sensitivity to these obligation triggers because this is the season of life when everyone needs something from you simultaneously. Aging parents who need care and support. Adult children who still need guidance and sometimes financial help. Partners going through their own midlife transitions. Colleagues who depend on your expertise. Friends navigating divorces and health crises. You've also spent decades, literally your entire adult life, being the reliable one, the go-to person, the problem solver everyone can count on. Your nervous system has been trained, conditioned, wired to respond to need with immediate action. When someone uses these manipulative phrases on you, your parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your brain that craves social connection, harmony, and acceptance, completely overrides your prefrontal cortex, which is the rational part that knows you're already overwhelmed and depleted. Here's the powerful reframe I want you to internalize. Your guilt isn't proof that you're doing something wrong. It's proof that you're breaking an old pattern. And breaking patterns, especially ones you've practiced for decades, always feels uncomfortable at first. That discomfort doesn't mean you should stop. It means you're growing. Now here's what nobody talks about. The shadow side of this whole dynamic. Constantly saying yes to these energy traps doesn't just exhaust you physically and emotionally. It actively teaches people that your boundaries are negotiable, that they're suggestions rather than requirements. It trains them, conditions them to use these specific phrases, because they've learned through repeated experience that these phrases work on you. Over time, you inadvertently become the person everyone turns to in a crisis. But here's the painful truth. They're not turning to you because they respect you most or value you most. They're turning to you because you resist least. You're the path of least resistance. And that's not genuine connection. That's not real relationship. That's convenience. You've become convenient. The shadow side of ignoring these patterns, of not setting these instant boundaries, is a growing, festering resentment. You start feeling bitter toward the very people you're bending over backwards to help. You feel used, taken advantage of, invisible. And then, and this is the cruelest part, you feel guilty for feeling resentful. After all, you said yes. Nobody forced you. So now you're angry at them and angry at yourself, which creates this vicious cycle of people-pleasing followed by resentment, followed by guilt, followed by more people-pleasing to prove you're not actually resentful. If you recognize yourself in this pattern, I need you to know it's time to break the cycle. So here's what I want you to remember as we close out. Boundary setting isn't about being mean, cold, or selfish. It's about being clear. When you stop letting these 3 phrases manipulate you, when you start responding with these instant boundaries, something powerful and transformative happens. The wrong people get frustrated and start distancing themselves. And the right people, the ones who genuinely love and respect you, they respect you even more. Dr. Brené Brown, who's done more research on vulnerability and courage than anyone else, says this: daring to set boundaries is about having the courage to love ourselves, even when we risk disappointing others. Let me say that again because it's so important. Even when we risk disappointing others. You are not responsible for managing other people's disappointment in your boundaries. You are not responsible for their reaction to your no. Their discomfort with your boundaries is not your emergency to fix. The phrases that used to control you, that used to make you abandon yourself over and over again, they only work if you let them. And now you know exactly how to stop them. You have the scripts. You have the boundaries. You have the understanding of what's really happening. You're not broken for having struggled with this. You're brave for choosing to change it. Let's do a quick recap of your new power phrases. When someone says, "Can you just," you respond with, "Let me check my schedule and get back to you." When they hit you with, "I wouldn't ask if it wasn't important," you say, "I understand it's important to you, and I'm not available for this." And when they try the flattery approach with, "You're so good at this," you confidently state, "Thank you for saying that, and I'm at capacity right now." These aren't just words. They're tools. They're your new armor against energy theft. If this video resonated with you, if you felt seen and understood, I want you to share it with another woman who needs permission to say no without guilt. Send it to your sister, your best friend, your colleague who always looks exhausted. And then I want you to tell me in the comments, which of these 3 phrases do you hear most often in your life? Which one triggers you the hardest? I read every single comment, and your stories help other women feel less alone. Subscribe to this channel for more videos on setting boundaries without guilt, on reclaiming your energy, on becoming the woman you were always meant to be. Next week, we're diving into how to handle people who actually punish you for saying no, and trust me, you're going to want to see that one. Remember this: your energy is your currency. Spend it wisely, protect it fiercely, and never apologize for knowing your worth.